also put a mark like that. I took the triangle launchpad, go down here, find that same mark, over there. Then I will just draw. Then I'll draw. Then I'll eyeball the actual distance. Try to posturate the cards unlikely this year. It's not our travel. This year I started out in Hawaii. Then I went to Washington, D.C. Hawaii.
I think I've gone on ahead and confused myself. Don't know. I think there might be an error. I need to hurry up and move on to the next panel, man. This is taking a while. Ideally, I would like to at least sketch some panels of page 19. I'll be so happy if I enter the pages in the 20s. That would be really wonderful. Uh, you should never feel scared or feel a bit weird about adjusting something. If you just work on something immediately and it feels like it's not working, it's not looking good, or something about it is off, there's nothing wrong with just scrapping what you just did. At the end of the day, the goal is to make the art look good. Not perfect, good. Hmm. Oh, let's chill, let's chill. Carlo Ancelotti. Hmm. Hmm.
Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Orlando, Florida, Las Vegas. Now, Austin this week. It's got 7 trips, 2 months. A lot of travel. And then I have WonderCon at the end of this month. It's the last weekend of March, either Friday after the Saturday. Oh, that's great. Party 52 graders. This is the first time I've seen a rate. That's pretty cool. I don't know if we tried not having all the original archetypes with that one. True? No, not true. I tried to buy back the page. I tried to buy back the cover to actually 268. It is it looks like this. So this was a gift to me from Richard Friend. He's an artist here with the Milestone, and recreated this cover complete with the logo. Wolverine Black Widow. This was the first cover to my regular run on X-Men. I think issue 248. And also the three-part extinction. Was it Acts of Vengeance? Sorry, 268 was the first issue of my regular run. And so he knew that everything was original, and he created that, gave it back. On birthdays. So very, very kind of beautiful. Just like it really. And thank you for that. And for the great. So I tried to buy that cover because it was back in 1991, maybe 1990, something like that. 1990. Early 90s is when it started. And the way original art is split up, the inkers get one out of every three covers, one out of every 3 pages. So Scott and I had done several issues of Acts of Vengeance already, 2 of the 3 issues. And so as fate would have it, he got that original. He sold it at San Diego Comic-Con to a fan. He sold that cover for $650. And at the time, he and I thought we were rich. Like $650, isn't that much? $650 bottom line. But in hindsight, I would have good idea to that cover. Just a little bit. Thank you, Kira. Thank you for cheers to 7 months. It's been more than half a year now. Thanks for the 7 months. Thank you, Kate. She's an original mod. She has really dedicated her time and passion to this channel and this stream. She lives in Switzerland, so when we first started streaming, we were streaming all sorts of hours, just sort of playing around with schedules and what work we did. And Kate was there from the start and really brought some semblance of order to this chaos. And so thank Kate for 7 years of tremendous support and assistance and help and guidance. So definitely that would you. Okay. So Team Marino, how much is it worth now? If I had a guess, if I could get that cover back, I could sell that for $300,000 maybe. Yeah, maybe more. I don't know. It's definitely worth more than $125. I would pay $125 for it easily filling for at least $250. But I think I can probably get upwards of that. I offered the person $45,000 in cash. This was years ago. $45,000 in cash. A different Batman Hush, the wraparound cover from the last issue, which was issue 619, plus another image of their choice, and they turned it down. The problem is that the kid that bought it, parents had some money, and they basically, well, supporting fashion. So I think they still have the cover some of the house. They don't really need the money, and I don't think the person really even class points anymore. But listen to that place where the person appreciates it. That's why I think the days I think that cover. There's a topic on the cover that sold for $625, so that's $25,000. So if you find the right person that's interested in that person, I go from over 300. If I were to pass away today, so yeah, that's a pretty amazing cover just because it's lean on it, and also have to bring up a lot about that issue because it's a self-contained issue. And that's
Koki, how you doing? I was not expecting anybody, to be fair. Welcome to the stream, my friend. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. How's your day going? Sorry for the late response. I was locked in. Usually, I don't expect anybody for a while. Thank you for joining. How you doing, man? How's your day going?
first issue. Kick us off. So I only are to X-Men #1 cover. The original I sold at auction at Sotheby's. Talk about this because it's public record. It sold for $40,000. The entire interior. The interiors of that, I think it was 40 pages of content. And you could probably get several $100,000 for all that. And so let me tell you a little side story since we're since I'm 40 myself. When I was breaking into
How you doing, Guy Mula? How's your day going? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a lovely day, my friend. What's good?
$15 on Sally. It's not weird, just like counting. And we were first online code, we sit there and it just all grows. And it's just comics fans and comics dealers. There's no Hollywood element. There's no TV shows. There's no TV stars. If there are any, they are from the bygone era, from like 30 years ago. And you're like, oh, where's that person from that TV show I used to watch as a little kid? And they might be there. And sometimes we would have porn stars. Sometimes we would have. It was a weird. There's no cosplay, right? It was a weird scene, really. But we would be there, and we would set up all day. We'd be at a table, and fans would come by, get the book signed, and they would commission you to do their favorite character at $15, $20 the second year, but $15 that first one. And yeah, the grandpa from Teen Wolf, for sure. The grandpa from the Munsters. I remember seeing that guy. And Mr. Smith from Boston Skates. Yeah, one time I sat next to a porn star. She was very nice. Lou Ferrigno is like the biggest Hollywood name. And so we do these sketches. Sorry, I'm drawing because I know there's someone out there drawing one. And I had a sketch with this drink panel. I don't know why I'm slowing down. Sorry. I'll get into the story. So, $15 a sketch. Gosh, I don't know. I think I would do like eight of them during the show. So, 8 times 15. It's 100. $20. But we take that extra list and we go back to what we did at night. We go to parties, sci-fi. There's no sci-fi channel. There's no EW party. There's nothing. There's nothing to do with Gaslamp. There's not even Gaslamp, right? It's not even in the convention center downtown. It is literally at the convention center, which is on Broadway. And we stayed at some other cheap hotel. And it was the four of us, Scott Williams. So there were three of us. Scott Williams, Wolf Picasso, and myself. We all shared a room. And we would take our commission list that we didn't draw in front of people, and we would draw at the hotel until like 2, 3 in the morning. We sit around and talk and just BS all night. And then there would be fans that they knew from Hawaii. So from Hawaii, these fans, there's a comic book fan club from Hawaii that was at the show. They would come and hang out with us. And, maybe sometimes there was no story game. There was no, like even the porn star said as well, you know, her name goes, this is before there was anyone that anyone knew who Australian was, right? This is pre, what's her name? The one that broke out big, Jenna Jameson, Jenna Jameson, right? That was before all that, right? I'm so old, my God. What am I talking about? Did this really even exist? I don't know. The Kathleen's kicking. I don't remember her name. I don't. Oh. In Mexico, most of the comic conventions are still that way. All right, I'm there now. I'll be there. You got me. All right. So, all right. So now I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna draw. I'm not gonna draw the mystery villain, but I have established that Superman is in the story, so I'm gonna start with Superman. So I'm not going to draw the most important panels first, even though I said that's important to do. I'm going to do some of the more complicated scenes to get them out of the way. So I'm going to do. I'll start with this. I'll jump around. So let's start with this. Let's start with Superman. Let's start with this. Oh, so anyway, get back to this story. I will. So we would have a commission list, but maybe there would be. They have been more productive than. Yes, about 120. Maybe there's another 6 people that would be on the list. Yeah, you tried to limit the show, but if you could, you would tell them, hey, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll go to the balance for you. I'm going to say we're pulling in something like $150 to $200 a day. And at the time, you know, that was awesome because my page rate, my starter was $75 a page. And so in a day at Comic-Con, you would make more than double what you would make, you know, busting your butt trying to $50 to $200 a day. And at the time, you know, that was awesome because my page rate when I started was $75 a page. And so in a day at Comic-Con, you make more than double what you would make, you know, busting your butt drawing a page of story. Right? So during Comic-Con, if you sketch 3 or 4 days in a row, you could make $600 to $800, right? And you know, holy crap, this is like crispy egg. This is like it's good, you know. And that didn't work. There we go. Interesting. The tweet doesn't work though. So it is from my street. That's street name. It is. That's right. So I have like a little button. See if you're wondering who these people are, let's give you some insight. Okay. Yeah, so really, you're still stuck on this porn star story. It's over. It's done. If I do, I would share. Honestly, I don't. Anyway, there are no fancy booths. I mean, these are literally like picnic tables with a drop cloth and no signage. There was no like wall of images or prints behind us. None of that stuff. There was no portable anything. That business did not exist. It's concrete floors. blank walls behind us, and maybe a handwritten like sign in front of it, right? And so yeah, you're making like $800 for the long weekend. You're exhausted because you've been up all night, all day, just drawing, sketching, and stuff like that. But it was amazing. It felt like felt like we were just killing it. Made more, made 2 weeks worth of work in 4 days, and I guess books. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Very different from the shows that because they exist now. And then the next year I was able to charge $20, and I was able to charge more as 50 the next year, and then once it got up to like $100, I never charged. Maybe I did one commission for 100, and I felt guilty. Just but I felt guilty charging someone that much money for a drawing, and I thought it was bad. Since I said I felt bad to see someone actually hand me $100 for a drawing, you know. And so I stopped doing sketches for them. So and then I started them for free, but they would not. They'd be just like very quick headshots and stuff like that. And in Europe, though, it would be pretty. There's if you Google album chimney sketches. There's a bunch of them. If you see like German on them or Italian, those were free sketches that were done at shows overseas. And some of them like background, large pieces of paper. I don't know what I was trying to do. So that was like many years where I did many years I started for free. And in my mind, it was like, oh, I was making more money from drawing than comics and some original art and all that kind of stuff. And so to me, being at the convention is about marketing yourself and promoting yourself. And so doing free sketches is about goodwill. It's about less of a transaction.
Hello, Steven. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. If you're curious, I'm working on my comic book, so I'm just laying out the details of the inks. I added the inks on like a previous stream. I was streaming on TikTok, but I had sketched everything on a previous stream here on YouTube. So I'm just laying out the blacks. Yeah, so that's what's happening. This is a fight scene, by the way. If you're interested, this is a fight scene of this lady and a monster, and she's sort of tumbling. They're about to collide, basically. They're about to collide, and I think I messed up weirdly. I think I messed up something, and I might have to fix it. I might have to fix it now that I think about it. Um, yeah, because it seems like they're quite close together. They are what 2 feet away from each other, and here it seems they're about 3 feet away from each other. So I might have to make this monster character a bit bigger. Uh, it's just an error. It's just an error. I'll fix it. All right. So I'm going to add like stars to her clothes, to her outfit.
More about hey, I'm promoting comics, I'm promoting myself, and so maybe I can convert this person into a fan. And this is pre-eBay, so I don't know what people did with sketch comics today. So that was like less of a feeling like just white or whatever. So I go back to that X-Men number. So I was down Wicked sold for $650 and cost himself hundreds of thousands of dollars. And And so we love to needle him about it to this day. And so anyway, what I was saying about backtracking a little further is I remember back then other professional artists, like I remember Dennis Cowan talking about, I would hear these stories of other professional artists going around to dealers looking to buy back the original art that they sold at like $15 a page, whatever price back in the day. As their stars and their sort of fame or acclaim grew, the original art went up, and they realized that, hey, I sold it for too less, or too cheaply, or I now have no memento of my early career. So I kind of vowed in my head, like, I will not sell all my art. I'll keep some of it, and I'll definitely, make sure I don't just blow it out. And so people just like, maybe give it away, but they priced it to move because they were, back then everyone did monthly books, and so they'd be generating like 300 pages of art a year, and they get 2/3 of that. So they have like 200 pages of art, which is a stat like this. And if you've been in the business 5-10 years, you got quite a bit. So, and I priced it to sell. And so early on, I knew that, okay, I'm going to keep some of the best stuff, and then I'm also going to make sure that I never just price it to blow out. So I have a ton of like alpha flight pages because I couldn't give that stuff away. And even today, I don't know what I would get for, but I want to sell it for $5 a page. So I have a lot of alpha flight art, and then I have a lot of X-Men stuff, Punisher and whatnot. And so I invested in myself, so to speak, and I dare say that I has outperformed Bitcoin post-crash over the years. But yeah, if you ever see Scott Martin, you're like, hey man, sorry about X-Men 268. Coffee Draws has subscribed. Twitch Prime, welcome, Coffee Draws. Jerry Gonzalez has shared that Cop Online. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Very much. Okay. To use that share the page is the same nowadays. So what we do, we have the same art dealer, Albert Moy. If you go to albertmoy.com, you can look at the page, the original art that's for sale, and it's expensive. There's a Batman Hush cover on these auction sites. Last time I checked, it was at $53,000. It was covered as 618, I think. It's Batman crouching in front of Robin. That's a skeleton with Hush and drawn in pencil. And Albert Moy is his name. M-O-Y. It's on Comic Link, correct. So the art for the covers I still have those. And I've been offered, like 400,000 like 100,000 each or whatever. I've turned it down. Those hush covers will go for more later. They already have. So 53. There have been hush covers that have sold for more than 53,000. So it's crazy. Good night, Sidewinder. Chunky Gerbil. Welcome. Scruffy Nerd. Oh. Okay. Alright, so I just drawn Superman. I just realized. So it's weird. At the same time, you don't want to keep all your art, I think, because in a way, that's completely random topic. I feel like you do need to sell some of it to kind of see the marketplace for it, get it in the hands of collectors, establish it as a worthwhile investment for people to have the confidence to pay that kind of money into it. I think. If you withheld all of it, nothing was out there to test the market, establish the price points, then I think it's harder to establish a true value. Meaning, if you don't have a lot of comparables to a house or anything of value, it's hard to establish what that market value is. But if you sell art, you sell it consistently over years, but not all of it, you can see what a Gen 13 page goes for versus a Punisher Warrior page versus an X-Men page versus a Batman Hush page. So Same thing to mine right there. Hey, Russell, how are you? Go for so that's on the cheaper end. So you want to collect my art originals, you start with Alpha Flight or any of the like the Max Faraday Fine Right stuff. Even Wildcats is pretty affordable in comparison to the Batman Rush and the Uncanny X-Men, which is the stuff that goes for the most. And that is the website, right? Correct. Yeah. I saw that. I thought it was too expensive. I remember these Dark Knight Returns pages with Batman and Joker, and I passed on them because they were, I think, like $3,000 each or something like that. This is back in the '90s, and I passed on it because I was such a purist. A lot of that book was being by Frank Miller. He wasn't crazy about what Klaus had done. Sometimes it's like reading pages, and so the originals that existed were these were the original Klaus inks, what were Frank's pencils, but they hadn't seen publication, and so I just I don't want to pay that kind of money. It's a lot of money, so it's for stuff that hadn't wasn't what I remember from my childhood, and it's a huge mistake because those pages were probably worth 150,000, if not more, each. Makes me want to cry. Oh yeah, crazy, crazy. Right. I gotta make it look like he just woke up after being knocked the crap out. So it just looks like he just been messing up a bit. Do editors give you a little critique, or they full right now based on character? No, there's look, when I pencil, I try to be a freelancer, in terms of, but obviously there's a power dynamic that exists because I'm also technically the publisher, kind of the boss, I guess. So you just have to, that's where Dan comes into play. And so I don't assign myself work that has to come from editorial. And if they ask for changes, I do that changes. So you'll see even on Enrollment #3, the cover, I penciled it, I was inked a certain way, the actual publication of it has different images in sort of Robin. The original composition is Robin's. The original composition had these two Robins in the foreground, and editorial, the editor asked them to be changed, so I did a patch. Do I always agree with their choices? No, but I respect the fact that they're doing their job, and make sure that I don't abuse whatever authority I might possibly have. So, but yeah, I mean, I definitely get some leeway because obviously publisher and work at DC proper. Look, I get rid of the riot act in terms of deadlines too. This is HB Lab, correct? Do I ever draw booties in the nose? I can draw some for you if you want. If that's your thing. Who am I to judge, right? I draw like snot coming out, right? It's not all blood, it's just mucus and, whatever. Bogies in the nose. Bogies in the nose. How hard is the monthly book making yourself? I don't hate myself. I mean, I make myself for pieces, but inking is a different beast, man. You have to have I can and will ink a project of mine, I'm sure, but on a regular monthly book, I don't know if I could do it. It's so technical in some ways, and with arguably the best inker ever. So in my generation. Not many artists become publishers as much as in 1911. So there's a word in the German language which means on the contrary, and it's one word. It's an amazing word. It's probably my favorite German word. And that word is DOCH, and it's pronounced dog, which means like no, you're effing wrong. That's like the best, like someone says something like dog. So there's a whole history of artists actually becoming publisher or creatives becoming publisher. You look at all the terms out there, you know what I'm talking about, right? Word. Oh. And the other one, great one is for now, which means exactly, but it's even better. It's like, exactly on point, right? And so, what am I saying? What am I saying? Oh, so Carmine Infantino, fantastic artist, he was publisher at PC as well. Dick Giordano was not publisher, but he was editorial director. But he basically kind of was the chief editor for many years as well. And obviously, there's a number of writers that also held that position, from Dan DiDio to Paul Levitz to Joe Schwartz to, I'm sure I'm missing some. Yeah, so there's a whole history of creatives, and I think it makes sense. You understand the business from that point of view. You understand the connection to the freelancer mentality and what they're producing for you in a way that if you were just a straight executive, you might not have. Is becoming publisher like being a partner at a law firm? No, if you're a partner at a law firm, you're kind of some tenure at college. You're in for life. It's the equivalent of being. It's just a different word for like executive vice president in like a regular corporation. All right. So we have oversight over all the roughly 700 people involved in publishing. The 3 imprints, that magazine, Vertigo, DC Universe, all the pop-up imprints, Young Animal, Hanna-Barbera, Wildstorm, all that stuff. What's the say? T-shirt Swiss German. So Swiss German is pretty odd. And that if you know any German, actually the further south you get in any country, I'm convinced that the language starts really. That's not the same. So Southern Italian, Southern German, even American. American. And in English, there's just a little more slang and becomes harder to understand. Travel south. I've listened to music while I work. Like music. All right. I go. Hey Siri, play some System of a Down.
Sure. Here's a personalized station of System of a Down.
Hey Siri, turn off. So I have one of those home buttons, so when I can also send text messages, so I don't have to stop going. And but can't have that for copyright purposes. All right. But I listen mostly to Howard Stern. I don't know if there are any fans of the Stern Show, and especially since they went on demand with Sirius and kind of tune in after the broadcast and just listen to them over and over again. Although music's great for kind of keeping your energy up, especially on an all-nighter. And I used to have this ritual, like after I finished a page, I remember like, always finishing a page like 3 or 4 in the morning, I would play a Beatles song, I think it's called Money, and I would sing along with the song, because I knew I was going to get paid for that page. So, I did under 13, I was shocked. I like both Matt and Brent, so it's not a personality thing, it's just based on what I've heard them talk about. But I think everyone was surprised by the results of that, huh? Jim, do you have any particular reason for not drawing digitally? Can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't like the staring into a fluorescent screen while I draw. You don't have an original that you can sell. I have too many choices I can undo, and I'm sure there's reasons. I don't really know why. If we're talking about original art, it strikes me funny that some people would forego that. And I get, prints from your work digitally, but you can do that with original art as well. But yeah, I think if I did work digitally, I could probably work faster, cleaner, right? Because I just work on different layers. And I've seen people draw digitally, even the pencil stuff, where it looks pretty close to the actual analog, but I don't know. I would throw it back at you, like, what advantages would there be for me to draw digitally at this point? Unless I was making my own work. You know, I could see maybe having pre-drawn templates for faces and perspective lines that you could lay underneath. But I don't know if I necessarily need that right now in my career. I mean, it's not often that I get stuck on something where I can't figure it out structurally. There's kind of an alternative that's just as fast. Doing layouts digitally, maybe, I don't know. So as a Bart, if you saw this from the beginning, but if you backtrack, you can see how I lay out everything, and I work right on the layouts. It goes pretty fast. It goes pretty fast. I can see doing layouts maybe digitally, and then printing it out on blue line and then inking it myself. Maybe. You can copy paste images instead of drawing the same image twice with slight alterations. Yeah, well, when I move some panels around, when I move these panels around, but I move them around at the super loose layout stage. It's rare that I have to redraw something. I have done it, but redrawn an entire cover that was almost done. I moved it over by like a quarter inch. But that's kind of rare too. And then you don't have the original. So that's a tough one. And this is Superman all beat up here, so I'm just does my back hurt? No, it does. Thank you. It does. Every time it gets really bad. But it hurts and my hand will hurt. And the last 2 live streams I did for like 6 hours in a row each, yeah, my knuckles were starting to really tighten up. And ache a bit. What really hurts the back is traveling. So I'm sitting on the plane, very super uncomfortable. I use Photoshop for like color work. So after I pencil, I make something, or pencil it, import it, and then I do color variations of it. The old days, you would just make photocopies, and then you'd use markers, and then you'd have to do like 5 or 6 different versions. So. Let's make sure that looks like Superman backwards. Sample orange. Can you make a funny face? Just keep watching the stream. I make a lot of weird faces when I draw. It's actually it's hard to watch. For sure. Sometimes I get into the scene and I start imagining like the expressions of the characters. You know, pursing your lips. As my eyes have gotten worse, on their side, I find myself squinting, sort of reflexively, not even understanding that I'm squinting. There we go. Got one done. And we have 1 of 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 pounds. So 1 of 16. Right? And that is about what? 16.66% or something like that. Good night, Monkey Strike. Monkey on Strike. It's been an absolute pleasure catching this live. Don't stay up too late. Good night, humans. Good night, Monkey on Strike. Where's the best food in Italy and Germany? In the restaurants. That's my answer. Jerry Ramirez, I could just subscribe. Twitch Prime, thank you so much, man. If you guys are Amazon Prime members, I guess you get your comped a Amazon or a Twitch Prime account every month. So you can go around and check out different Twitch streams and it's not cool. That's included in your Amazon Prime membership. So, I don't know, such a quick way, right? So the best food in Italy and Germany depends on the region that you go to. So if you go to Italy, they have different things that the cities are known for, and not that all the food's great in general, but if certain dishes sort of, started somewhere, or originated somewhere, or it's their specialty, right? So same as the wines. So if you're into food, Italy's great for that. In Germany, I do love good bratwurst, currywurst. Jäger schnitzel, awesome. You know what I find Camilo, Romanista, Spanish would be Camilo. Is that every region of Italy thinks they have the best food, which is awesome. I mean, why not have that pride? What's the best dish in Abruzzo? The Abruzzi region. Pizza is godly in New Jersey. Okay. That's just something to read behind him there. Do I have a Patreon now? I'm not something like so. I know what Patreon is, and it was something that I considered. I remember when I was kind of on the scene or whatever, and I didn't start an account because it seemed it was all reward based, meaning, hey, at this or just at this level of patronage, um, you get this, and at this you get that, and we kind of have that with the sub levels, but not in a way that requires me to actively send out copies of physical things on a mass level, and we have giveaways where it's far too much. But just at the $1,000 level, you got to do this, or the $500 level, you do this, or the $100 level, this, 20, whatever. It seemed like I would have to keep track of all the stuff I had to do at all these different levels. I like the simplicity of Twitch, the fact that you could get all the content, really, not all of it, most of it, without subbing. But if you choose to and you show your support and appreciation, you can. So that just appeals to me that it's not so rigidly hierarchical, I guess. And I wouldn't have to create a lot of new things at all these different levels. Patreon level could be a full-time job in itself. Nintendo GameCube has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. Palm Draws has subscribed. Right. And I think that was me. That's correct. Any countries in Europe you'd like to go to? It's a good point. Sorry, hold on. Where we go? So I was in WonderCon at the end of this month. Then in April, I'll be at C2E2 in Chicago for a day. Morning. I'll also be at Grab Crackers. They have a bunch of stores in Chicago, so you have to go to the website for that info. That Wednesday. That's early April, and then mid-April, I think around the 14th, that Saturday. I don't know if it's the 13th or 14th. I will be at Album Comics in the Saint-Germain region of Paris. It's a store that's pretty close to Notre Dame. They sell comics in English there. It's a great two-story store.
Hello, Shushu Josephs. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the support. It's a good drawing. Thank you. It's a comic book that I'm making. It's a comic. And I'm just applying the inks and the blacks and the little details here and there to just make it look a little bit cleaner.
Space has subscribed. Thank you for your subscription. And then the following weekend I'll be in Lake Como for a comics festival there. It's a pretty expensive one, but it's very limited to a set number of people. And look forward to that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I lived in Italy for a year, and I never had a chance to visit that area, so it's nice to go somewhere that I haven't been before. Other countries I haven't been to in Europe so far. Let me see. Been to Scotland, Ireland, England, France, Spain. Haven't been to Portugal. Been to Liechtenstein, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Italy, Monaco, Andorra. Is that the kind of name of the country? Andorra. I'm listening. The Vatican. Germany, Poland, East Germany. Back when it was East Germany. Austria, Czechoslovakia, or it used to be Czechoslovakia, Croatia, Greece. So the countries I haven't been to: Portugal, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, Bosnia, Macedonia. I don't know if Albania is around anymore, but all those countries that used to be part of Yugoslavia. Have I left any out? She was from Bulgaria. So I have a good friend that she grew up in Bulgaria. She's half Bulgarian, half Nigerian. All right. Fuck. Taxi traffic rip you off in Hungary all the time. I think that's just like par for the course. Whenever you travel, if you're a tourist, you're paying a different, especially in cities that are popular. I mean, you just pay, you're getting a different deal anyway. So, I'm okay with that. I don't mind supporting the different countries. And if I'm paying a little bit more because I'm an American, so be it. We do the same thing. I remember New York City used to be awful for taking cabs from like JFK into the city. They take you, this is before they sort of internet mapping system. So if you weren't familiar with the city, you had no idea where they were taking you. They could literally be driving you around in circles, just jacking up the fare. This is before they standardized the price. Thank you very much, Programmer Art, for your subscription. I've gotten to, I think the most number of arguments I've gotten into people in public space are with cab drivers. I have no qualms in calling them out. And I even said, like, all right, look, if you're going to act this way, I'm going to get out. I've done it, gotten out of cabs. Usually after they stop moving, but I've been tempted to jump out of something. Like, my God. So you got to stand your ground. Have I thought about going to Russia? I have, but I've never been. So. love to go to Leningrad, Moscow, of course, but even like Volgograd and Minsk. I don't know, some of these cities I read a lot about when I was a kid. From history books. You're giving her a Superman girl? She does have one, yes. I'm missing not so much the other panel. I'm drawing left to right. And then if I go up here, I use this piece of paper to kind of walk over it so the oil and the sweat from my hand doesn't get on the page. Because that's what makes it really bad. Vladivostok has a lot of Koreans with Russian accents. I was confused but impressed. Yeah. I watched something on Vice. It's a new show for like millennials, and they did this whole thing on how North Korea gets a lot of hard currency from not just the West, but also from the East. They basically set up labor camps where they send over the North Koreans into Russia, into Siberia, to basically log and mine and do all sorts of stuff. And it's all all the signages in Korean and the foremen and stuff. People that interface with the Russian officials, they speak Russian. It's really interesting watching them do that. And actually, when I worked in a hospital in Hamburg one summer back in 1984, or 86, 84, there was a Krankenschwester, a nurse that was from Korea. And there was not a lot of great jobs in Korea at the time. This is pre-internet. It was very much a third world country, developing country, and so a lot of Koreans left, like my parents actually, the country to find better jobs elsewhere. And this nurse was one of them. And she spoke fluent German in the country. So the diaspora, was sort of mass exodus of Koreans into other countries during that era. Jerry Gonzalez has subscribed. Also with Twitch from. Thank you very much. Good idea of grayscale stream. And I set the JG007. Arigato. I worked in Germany once, yeah. In a hospital. Allgemeines Krankenhaus Nummer 1. Good night, Tom Cratch. We're losing a lot of people. We still have 619 people, so totally not a psycho. That what tells me is totally are a psycho, but holy poop, I actually got a live stream. Ooh, hello. Do artists need to work in the same city for work? No. Artists live all around the world. We employ an active roster of about 500 artists all around the world, but the actual talent community is much larger, thousands. But we have artists in the Philippines, Brazil, Europe, Cyprus. We have an artist, Otto Schmidt, Russian artist with a Germanic name, but he lives and works from Cyprus, which is an island off the coast of Turkey, Greece. A a lot of the people that work digitally, they don't even have to mail their artwork in, so you don't have to even be at a place that has FedEx. You just have to be at a place that has internet connection. Back in the day, it used to be whoever, if you had access to FedEx. So I even worked for 4 months in 1989. I lived in Siena, Italy, and I worked on the X-Men. I drew that on the kitchen counter of an apartment there, and that would go to, there was no FedEx. There was FedEx in Siena, but it took like a week. So I would have to take a bus, the 45-minute bus ride into Florence, and then take a cab or another bus to the outskirts where the FedEx office was. And I would FedEx a page out. It would take like 3 days to get to New York. And back then, no cell phones. There was phone banks, and the apartment I was renting didn't have phones, so I'd have to go to a neighborhood hospital, which was like in a cathedral. It was like a church. It's like a super old school convent type hospital. And I would go there at 2 in the morning. Or was it 4? It was 9 hours. I was 6 hours ahead of New York. So 2 in the morning. I don't know. It was super. It was super late. But I'm going the weird hours of the day. It was like 1 in the morning. 1 in the morning. 1 in the morning would be 7 o'clock at night in New York. Yeah. That's it. And I would make these calling card calls to Bob Harris, actually, who was my editor on the X-Men at the time. What happens is drawings got lost in the post. It didn't. They didn't. I've only had a handful of things get lost in the mail. One time I did a bunch of sketches and some hardcover absolute crushes that I did for an ex who found me out on social media, and I did it for her kids, and they mysteriously disappeared. It was around the holiday season. I think that's the worst, actually. And then in the giveaways here for the stream, there was a piece of art that was sent out again during the holidays. I had a record that it was delivered, but the person never got it. So either someone took it off their porch. I think they have, because it showed that it was dropped off. I had a 5-page story, 6-page story from Daredevil Annual that was lost when I worked at Marvel. They had photo. I didn't lose it, but the pages when they were sent from, so the pencils were sent to New York, then they were FedEx to the inker. That's when it got lost. And so they found a local New York inker to basically ink it off of the photocopies that they always made before they mailed out the pages. And then the original boards, when they got inked, they got lost when they were being mailed back to Marvel. But then those pages eventually showed up again, so I got copies, my share of pages from both stories. Move this arrow a little bit, it's too low. Five. This one was higher on my head than that other shot, so I think we can help play up. So I guess if I worked digitally, what I just did would be a lot easier to do. I'll probably look to find, change the profile, copy and paste some of this I see the advantages of it for sure. But it didn't take me too long to make that adjustment, right? Or did it? It didn't feel long, but I know sometimes it does. Yeah, everything had to go to the actual production offices at every step. So the pages kept going in and out of the DC and Marvel offices numerous times if you think about it. It was rare to actually mail it directly to the next person in line. So the pencils would, the script would be FedEx to you. You would draw the pages, FedEx it back to Marvel at the time. They would then FedEx it to the inker. The inker then finish it and FedEx it back to Marvel. They would make photocopies of the pages, FedEx it to the colorists. Colorists would make the color guides, FedEx those back. And Marvel would then take the originals and the color guides, produce the film, and then the film would be produced in the plates. And but to produce the plates or the film, they sent the original art out where it got scanned, or they'd scan it there themselves, pick on the side of the art. And then it would go into the returns office where some lowly paid employee would then send out releases to all the artists, where you basically said, "Oh yeah, I don't have these characters. I'm just for hire. I'm receiving this artwork back," and then you get the artwork back maybe a couple months after. Yeah, that all changed after the internet and digital art. I kind of want to see how Diamond prints comic books. So Diamond is just the distributor then. The printing is actually done by, we have like 3 or 4 printers that we use, and they're amazing. And these printers are huge operations. A lot of times they actually print currencies for third world countries, and so you see stacks of money lying around. Diamond just gets the comics from the printers. They put it on either UPS or their own facilities, trucks, whatever, and get them out to stores. Collect the money, take care of damages, returns. A lot of times they actually print. Printing is actually done by, we have like 3 or 4 printers that we use, and they're amazing. And these printers are huge operations. A lot of times they actually print currencies for third world countries, and so you see stacks of money lying around. Diamond just gets the comics from the printers. They put it on either UPS or their own facilities, trucks, whatever, and get them out to stores. Collect the money, take care of damages, returns. Okay, so then after Lake Como in April 22nd, something like that. Then the following weekend, I think the 26th or so, I'll be at Calgary, Canada. So I have you people living near Calgary. I'll be at Calgary Comic Con for a day. There's something wrong. It's this short. Showing too much of it before short. Red Remedy has subscribed. Thank you very much for the subscription. Flatdeck 2204. Do you ever draw your pages visually? No. I should probably have like a Nightbot answer to the digital question. That's probably one of the most common questions I get. Excuse me. That'll damage on her as well. She's been through kind of an explosion. I think it's not low enough. The shoulders, I think it's too high. I can actually get by without drawing it at all. I think that's actually the correct. Well, stay there. Okay. I'm gonna do the Superman here. It's weird. The autofocus is not on, but like adjustment that's happening. Like a tactile feedback. I guess that's part of it. Oh, my glasses on. It's getting darker and darker. Base my eyes turn off for the night. Since I had that accident where I tore I had a tear in my retinal wall.